So I definitely know how it is when you're like right at the brink, and you feel like, look, this shit don't matter. Like, why am I even doing anything? Why am I even doing life? Um, I would advise you to do two things, just two simple things. Call somebody. It could be anybody, your relatives, friends, whoever. Shoot, call the pizza man, call Pizza Hut, call Domino's, call somebody and just start talking or share your thoughts. And I would say limit that to 5 minutes because you can only give yourself a pity party for but so long. And also, if you call somebody else with your problems, they're probably going to give you kind of a time limit on that too. The next thing is, if nobody answers the phone, you should just go walk outside. Walk outside, and even if you don't, for example, if you live in a city like New York, you'll be able to see a whole bunch. You'll be able to see at one time hundreds of people walking. Even if you live in a rural area like Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, you might look outside and see nothing. But when you look on the ground, you might see some ants. You might see some ladybugs. You're going to see life. You might see some grass. Even if you see dirt, that's something that is contributing to the growth of something else. And the perspective that you can gain from that is that life goes on. So continue to stay legendary. Focus on the grind. Let's boss up. Let's get it. And so I'm looking forward to this conversation because, first of all, it's just been a long time. So I'm just like looking forward to seeing my guy. And I also want to hear his thoughts on some of the things that I'm up to. And I'm sure I'll have some thoughts or questions about things that he's up to. So, yeah, man, just a guy here. Yeah, let's get it.
How you feeling, brother?
Decent, man. Decent. I can't even complain.
Man, I just love the summertime. You know what I'm saying? So everything about it, especially in New York City, it's beautiful. Just came back from Mexico a couple weeks ago. Got a few shades darker.
The melanin.
Right, that's what it's about. But man, overall everything is good, man. Can't complain. Got some things to talk about.
Okay.
But everything is cool, man. What about you?
Same, man. Life is beautiful. It's a blur. There's a lot going on. It almost feels like I've been having really vivid deja vu. And I've been asking all of the spiritual girls that I know that rub on stones and hug trees, what exactly does this mean? Because it's getting to the point where, especially like my Atlanta trip or some of the things that are happening in NY, it's almost like I literally have already done it and I'm watching a replay. It's very spooky.
Yes.
Now, somebody told me that just means that you're aligned and that's what you're supposed to be doing. But I don't have the answers. And if anybody does have the answers, please DM me, let me know. Because it's scary hours out here, but it's a blessing.
That's what's up, man. Yo, that does happen to me sometimes. I'm like, even if I told somebody, they would not believe me that this moment just happened.
Trust me, bro. I believe you.
Especially those big moments where it's like you meet somebody that, you know, you're like, whoa, okay, you're going to be my friend now.
Right,
like,
right.
I feel it, you know? Or, you know, this is a great business opportunity. But yeah, how did it manifest for you, though?
Man, so it's coming down to the people I meet, even the cars I drive, even the places I've done, conversations, coincidences. It's so vivid, and it would be cliche to say everything, but it's almost everything, you know? So it's something I'm really curious about. Maybe I am in The Matrix. You know, The Matrix was my favorite movie as a child, and maybe everybody's just watching me on a Truman Show. Who knows?
Bro, I feel like that's true. Also, man, the whips that you've been having.
I like the whips. I like the whips.
The whips, bro.
Okay, so
golly.
I've always had an affinity for Range Rovers. Okay. I think that started off as me being a big Jay-Z fan when I was younger. There's like videos of me rapping Jay-Z lyrics when I'm like 9 years old. But he loved the Ranges. So I think that just was subconsciously put in my head. And then Porsches came from, well, James Bond drives Aston Martins, but I can't rent Aston Martins. somewhere along the way, I picked up love for Porsches, right? Mm-hmm. So this is important because
this episode was brought to you by Udily, your free communication coach. Let's get back to the episode.
We have to train our minds to luxury being the norm, right? So there was a point in time, maybe last year or past 2 years, when I would rent a Range Rover or a Porsche, and it would be like, oh wow, I'm in this, But I remember vividly recently in Miami when I had the white Porsche, and I got in front of the driver's seat, and I was just like, oh, this is normal. I know where the clutch is. I know where this is. It feels perfect, Right. And even with the Ranges, I've driven all of the different models. And I just fully believe that this is something that I'm supposed to do. Now it feels weird if I pull up in a Benz. Sometimes I got to get the Benz because that's the best price. But I would prefer to do that. And now that I've gotten used to the Porsches and the Range Rovers, even though I don't own them yet, I am renting. I'm practicing for my wealth. My eyes have gotten bigger. My wants have gotten bigger. Porsches and Range Rovers are cool. Mm-hmm. I want a Ferrari.
Oh wow!
What's a Ferrari like? So that's the next level. They have, Ferrari. I'm not so much of a Ghost or a Rolls guy, but why not? Lamborghini, why not? McLaren, why not? Yeah. So once you train your mind to get used to certain steps, your mind starts to search for what's next, and that's what I'm searching for. What's next? Need a Ferrari. I can see me in a Ferrari, right?
I can see it. Yeah, man, that's so real. I feel I totally agree with you on that, man. I've been into Rolls Royces for a while. Mm-hmm. And this dude that I follow called his name is Dan I forgot his last name. He's a billionaire dude, but he basically always talks about Rolls Royces. And
you've been talking about Rolls Royces since episode 1. We need you on the Rolls Royce. The world needs you on the Rolls Royce.
Right. And there's this basically a concept called smell the leather. And basically, there's this concept called smell the leather. And when you're smelling the leather, that's basically you essentially gearing yourself up for the next opportunity or the next thing. So for me, smelling the leather might have been when I was in the military, might have been being a dental assistant. I thought about being a dentist for a while, and I was like, no, thank you, But, when it comes to things like Rolls Royces, when I saw a Cullinan, I was like, I just have to have that, and I don't really care how much it costs. When people say, oh, that's expensive, I think I hate that, what I'm saying? Because it basically trains your mind to say, I don't want that. And for me, I just focus on, asking myself, what's the price? Even an opportunity that I'm looking at right now, I'm just like, okay, the asking price is out of the range, but what about the down payment? Where can I get the down payment from? How can I securitize it? Who can I negotiate with? And so, yeah, man, smell the leather. I think that all of those things, I think, are tied to just aligning yourself with the next level.
Love it.
Appreciate it, bro.
Next level, man. That's the goal. That's the immediate goal. Next level. Things are good, but how good can they get? If our best days aren't ahead of us, why even live, bro?
That's so real, And when it comes to the law of attraction, man, mm-hmm. I think the first step they always, Abraham Hicks always says is, the contrast. She talks about the contrast. You can appreciate the contrast. The first point in which you have that question, or how much does that cost? Or, you know what I'm saying, where's she from? You know what I'm saying? It kind of like shifts your brain to think, okay, this is me going forward with it. And I think sometimes, man, for me, especially right now, I'm like appreciating the contrast. You know what I'm saying?
Love it.
I was gonna ask you though, bro, because you've been going crazy. So I wanted to ask, like, what's your schedule been like lately, and how are you managing it, and like also, man, I just want to commend you on just crushing and beasting out this content on a consistent basis. I think the consistency that is the tough part. Like, I think, recording some stuff, you know what I'm saying, editing it, putting it in Canva, doing whatever, InShot app, CapCut, whatever. That's like, it's an easy exercise, but doing it every single day when your girl's hitting you up, when your mom calls you, when, you know what I'm saying, clients are calling. So what is your whole life like right now, bro?
Thank you, man. Life is really busy, and I appreciate those words because it gives me encouragement, because I feel like I'm not consistent with the content. And I know I've been pumping out a lot, even more than usual, but I guess I just hold myself to just a high regard. I'm just like, man, there's more I could be doing. And when I sit down and try to do or bang out these vlogs or bang out this content, it's really tedious work. I still do everything on my phone. I don't know if that's practical, but I found my aesthetic, in the apps that I use and InShot and things of that nature, and that's how I want to proceed. But what I do is, whenever I go somewhere, I always record, and I try to make it organic. I don't really try to do anything too scripted.
Okay.
And I think capturing an organic aesthetic is what makes my content feel authentic. So it's just not like a bunch of people pretending. It's what's really happening. And when I go through the editing process, I try to make it seem as if you were there with me, or you're getting the best takeaways of where I was. But one thing I've been learning about content is to not overthink it, because honestly, people just want to see it. The people just want to feel like they were there. They just want to know what's going on, and everything might not have the bells and the whistles that you want, but at the end of the day, the people just want to see it. So put it out.
Yeah, I have a huge reservation when it comes to things that I think might not hit.
Right. But
you know what I'm saying?
It's so what hits and what doesn't hit. Like, I had a reel that went crazy months later. I think as long as you're comfortable that every single thing that you put out you believe in, that's all that matters. I think there was a quote by Rick Rubin. He did a recent interview. He's been on tour for like a book. And Rick Rubin is a famous record producer. He's played a part in every, not even just rap, every artist, and he's really known for his minimalism. And he's not even musically inclined. He just goes off of like the vibes of his nature, real Zen, Zordon type energy, and one of his principles was that the audience comes last. So the audience comes last, and his reasoning behind that was that the audience doesn't know what they want. So if you're trying to please the audience, you're working backwards. You're the muse, you're the creative. We're sharing our gifts with the world. One, to just release the energy inside of us, but two, to attract whoever is going to attract, right? So if we're working backwards and we're trying to anticipate what they need, we're not doing ourselves and our creative process any favors, or the world, because you're probably just regurgitating something that already exists, and that's not going to stick. And if it does stick, would that make you happy? So I think the thing that's going to fulfill you the most is sticking to whatever it is, and whoever gravitates towards that is your community. That's your tribe.
That's real, man. And I think some people might discount the tribe sometimes. Like, oh, I only have 100 followers or 200. For me, man, when I had put out that, and this is so long ago, but when I had put out the music project,
which is excellent, by the way. Go stream that on there. Just talking real big, cheesy, Nipsey energy on that joint.
LaFleur Delayed, by the way. Rob Burgundy, by the way. But nah, man, when I dropped that, man, the people that really responded and gravitated toward that was my family.
Mhm.
Like my sister hit me, like when I visited her, she was bumping it
Word.
in her car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh shit. My brother, my you know what I'm saying, just everybody in my community.
Mhm.
And they were telling their friends and stuff like that. And so I mean, for me, I kind of paused a little bit because I wanted to focus on just making sure I stacked bread first, and I didn't want to be like a you know what I'm saying, just like, oh, I'm just no job I'm just a rapper, you know what I'm saying,
Living life.
right.
Yeah.
But I
Beard
think
rapper.
right, but I think there's something to say about having a small group of people that follows you and believes in you. And for me, like, I call that my team, like my squad. And
You gotta give them a name. You gotta give your community a name.
yeah, like I mean, it might seem I would say legends. You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
I think everybody, like, by virtue of being a human being, we're a legend. You know, you're a legend.
Absolutely.
And I just feel like everybody has an opportunity to bring the legendary qualities out of themselves. And for me, I just felt like, especially when it came to podcasting and interviewing, I thought that, like, the best quality about myself is that I'm complimentary. Like, I'm like, yo, nice shoes, Doug.
Yep.
I love that shirt.
Yeah, you great.
You know what I'm saying? And I love it. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to lean into that instead of, like, I know everything. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't. But yeah.
Okay, perfect, man. That is really that's really something. And one thing I know is that if we get caught up in the numbers compared to whoever, right, it's always gonna fall up short. It's like money. Like, somebody's always gonna have more money than us, unless we Elon Musk. And then even then we don't know what Vladimir Putin and the Saudis got. So, we don't know. There's always somebody richer, there's always somebody that has more likes. So comparison is the thief of joy. But you mentioned, like, oh, it only gets 100 likes. Bro, if 100 people came up to you and shook your hand, you would feel like the man.
Right.
Like, if 100 people was just like, yo, that was fire. Yo, bro, that video, like 100 times, you would be like, yo, this is I'm for it. But on the screen, you're like, oh, man, I only got 100 likes.
Right.
Oh, that's 100 people, bro.
Right.
Only got 1,000 followers. Bro, 1,000 people is
Right.
crazy.
It's a lot.
So the numbers have desensitized us to what's actually occurring. And what's actually occurring is 30 people rock with you, 60 people rock with you, 100 people rock with you. 100 daps is crazy. Like, that's wild. Like, you just imagine walking around. Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's all love. Man, bro, I would just think about it like that. Every like you get or every comment you get, just think of that person shaking your hand. How many hands you get to shake.
Right.
And how many conversions you can make off of that.
Right.
I would rather have 100 people tapped in than 10,000 people just casual.
Right. Right.
They say it really only takes, if you can get 100 people to give you $1,000 over the course of a year, you up, and then you can just take it from there. And it's not even that; it's having people that actually believe in you for you, and
right.
you being able to remain authentic. A lot of the times, especially in music, we talk about people going pop.
Yeah.
Or we talk about people trying to reach a new audience. Why? When I could just double down on this audience. An example of that in the Black community, and people gave him a lot of flack, me included. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is a billionaire. He's never made a movie for white people. It's always been for, my fellow Black Americans who like the ratchet gospel. And he leaned into that. And he was not apologizing for that either. And that man is worth $1 billion. And he puts a lot of money in a lot of people's pockets, and he gives back a lot to the community. And he did that by leaning in, being himself, not worried about what anybody else was thinking.
And the best part about his story to me is the fact that, bro, those Madea joints, they went so hard.
Yeah,
like,
I've actually never even seen it.
Really?
Never.
But I would go to my Aunt Myrtle's house. Shout out Aunt Myrtle. I would go to her house, man, and bro, the house would be like almost shaking from like the laughter in the crib.
People love
and man, and so he failed a lot before he even got to that point, and that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, he was homeless. And then he didn't get the respect from his fellow filmmakers. You had Spike Lee roasting him. everybody else like, oh, you put on a dress, you did. Everybody's talking down, but he knew what he was doing. And he just leaned into his tribe. He knew he had people that loved it, and that's all that mattered.
That's so real, man.
So we really got to have tunnel vision on our vision. And we really just got to be like, yo, this is my movie. This is my character. This is my life. Can't really be worried about what everybody else is doing. Just straight main character energy, bro. Skip everybody else.
Yeah, I love when you say skip that. Skip everybody else or skip them. It's like,
skip them.
You don't even have to say the F word.
Nah, still the same. I'm really working on I don't want to use profanity.
Yeah, any period. Whoa, okay. That's tough.
But yeah, there's over the past year, I've really been intentional on just becoming the greatest version of myself. What is the greatest version of myself? Not saying that anything that I was doing before is detrimental or people are still doing that I'm better or they're worse. Anything. I just feel like for me personally, I want to evolve, right? So it's been over a year since I drank alcohol. I haven't had a sip of alcohol in over a year. And there wasn't really anything dramatic behind it. I was at the factory one day DJing, and everybody knows if you check out my social media that I love to have girls come up to the booth, everything. So I always have tequila shots ready to go. So there was a time when nobody likes to drink alone, you know. So if you hand somebody a shot, they're like, oh, take a shot with me. Boom, easy. Yeah, let's do it. But I remember specifically I was DJing Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It was a Thursday, and I handed a girl a shot, and she was like, take a shot with me. And I was just thinking in my head, like, I got to come back tomorrow and the day after that. I'm not trying to drink tonight. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, nah, I don't drink when I'm DJing. That was the first thing I said. And from that moment on, that was the last drink I ever had. Again, nothing crazy. But then a couple months later, I started the raw vegan journey where I went like 220 plus days, only strictly raw fruits and vegetables. And the reason I'm telling all of this is because I realized as I was elevating my mind that certain things and certain high caliber people don't have certain types of behavior. When's the last time you heard Barack Obama curse in a speech? He doesn't have to. His words are so powerful that he can use his words in a way where he doesn't have to communicate with profanity. Now, we are living in profane times. So profanity is necessary at times. I think there's much to be said about being intellectual, that you don't have to use these type of words to get your point across. And, you know, we're shortchanging the human language if we're just confining ourselves to these 4-letter words to express these harsh emotions. So I've been working on not using profanity, you know, getting my body and my mind and my spirit right. I call it like God body. You know, I want to be God body everything. What would God do? If God didn't do it in my body, I shouldn't strive to do it. So I shouldn't curse. I should be, you know, getting my workouts in. I should be having my my food intake be pure and not using profane words, and also even filler words. I want to take time and think about what I'm saying, so I don't say like, woo, because when you look at the people that we consider to be exceptional humans, they don't have this type of behavior, but it didn't happen overnight. They practiced and they were intentional about improving themselves. And I'm just in a period of deciding to finish and be the most ultimate God body Brento that the world can see. That's it, man.
Sick. So real, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you definitely inspired me to not drink.
And I want to be clear, it's nothing wrong with drinking. There's nothing wrong with having a good time. I am the pregame king. You know, pregames with Brento has and will always be a thing that I pride myself on. I still have a full bar at the house. I hosted 2 pregames in the past week. It's just now I'm drinking a mocktail. You know, I'm drinking watermelon juice. You know, but that doesn't mean nothing for you. Since I'm not drinking, now you got to take 2 shots.
Yeah, man. You know? No, I do feel as though I'm much more sharp when I'm off when I'm not drinking. I'm much more. I think my words, like even when it comes to less filler words and things like that. So I do notice those things when I'm not drinking. I did cut down to 1 day per week, and not even going crazy on Saturday. But when me and the wife go to brunch, man.
I was gonna say brunch. Yo, bro, you love brunch. I love it. That's so classic.
I mean,
my friend was like, "Yo, we go to brunch."
Right. And so I'm like, yo, I can't miss out on this. But it's getting to the point though.
Mimosas, man.
Right, mimosas get you, man.
Champagne, why not?
Especially at 2 p.m. It's like the perfect time.
That's why I love Rolls Royces and brunch.
But you definitely, it's made me think more about eating fruit, and I'm more intentional about that too.
Love
but man, also, man, shout out to my sisters, Lisa and Holly, for being the queens of sea moss, because sea moss is one of those things that when I take it, bro, and I actually ran out, so I ordered some more. But when I take it,
they have a sea moss business.
Both of them do.
Oh, let's shout them out. Where can we?
Jellish Expressions on Instagram, and also Sinners Sea Moss. Sinners with a capital or apostrophe S. Sea Moss. But when I take it, man, it has like 99% of the minerals needed to be healthy, basically.
Absolutely.
And when I take it, man, it's almost like, I know I work out 5 days a week, but when I don't take it, and as opposed to when I do, I feel as though there's a night and day difference. It almost feels like I'm taking like protein or something like that.
Wow.
Which I haven't taken any protein in years. But yeah, man, it's just one of those things.
Shout out to sea moss. I also have a homegirl, Freaky Donya, who sells sea moss, hustleandhydrate.com. Sea moss has superpowers. But that's the thing, and that's what I try to get across with the fruit. These are the things that God put us on the earth, that God put on the earth for us to eat. These aren't like man-made things. Like the fruit comes from the trees, the sea moss comes from the ground or the sea. These are the things that are going to make us feel the most human. And when we do start to get in touch with, because we are what we eat. When you consume a good soul food meal, chicken, macaroni and cheese, you name it.
Collard greens.
But collard greens, everything. But afterwards you want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because your body is like, bro, I can't process all of this and you be awake. You're doing too much. You know what I'm saying? So let's give you some of this itis.
Yeah.
And let's knock you out real quick so I can do what I need to do. But you never get that feeling when you eat. We eat this whole entire bowl of fruit. And you'll be fine because it gives you fuel. It's a different type of energy, and when you go prolonged with only injecting your body with this type of energy, it's almost like you start to feel connected spiritually to the environment, to the world. The sun feels different. I don't want to walk in the shade, and when I'm walking on the side of the street where the sun is, I want to feel that. You just start to feel real tree hugger like. And I really do believe that it impacts all facets of your life. So if we start to incorporate more of these foods and these energies that are natural, I think we're going to see that flourish internally and externally. It's almost like you got like the Super Saiyan glow around you. You just walk around, bro.
Right. I always think about the Bruce Leroy glow.
Yeah.
you really got that. And also, man, I just want to commend you on the journey. Bro, your skin is glowing, dog.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
I don't think there's anything wrong with your teeth, but I know you actually inspired me to get my joints updated, upgraded.
There you go.
Better, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate it, man. I'm 30 more days till till the gap is closed. But the cool thing about it is that, like, I was thinking that the gap would just be closed, but like the teeth.
You see them coming in.
Yeah, they feel perfect now.
It's great, and again, that's just me going back to wanting to do it the natural way. Like a lot of people go, again,
veneers.
I'm not. That's okay. Like if I speak down on something, it's only for me. I don't feel no type of way about anybody else doing it. But people are going to get veneers and surgery, or even like weight loss surgery and veneers and stuff. I would rather just do it the natural way because let's at least try the natural way. Yeah, let's at least see what that's about, because why not?
Right. So. Man, that's real. I had to say that before we went to the next piece, but And the next thing I wanted to talk about was just how to navigate uncertain times. I know that, there was a time where when you were leaving Wall Street, and you were probably like, what is happening? What am I going to do next? I'm in a period right now. Yesterday, I just got let go or laid off from my job. That was um, due to budget issues. You know what I'm saying? It's a venture backed company. And I've been there from pre-seed all the way to seed A, past seed A, and it's like, hey, I contributed to this, but that's done now, and so thinking about what to do next is kind of tough. So could you take me back to when what I'm saying, when you were in the process of transitioning?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you all know, I am, Story King Brent, the Wall Street dropout. But the truth of the matter is, I was never really a good employee. If we're just being completely honest, I had the skills to thrive in the environment. I had the intelligence to secure the jobs, but I was never really the star of my team. I was never really the go-to point person on any projects. I was a good role player. Like if we were in the NBA, I would be like a good guy in the starting lineup or like coming off the bench. So with that being said, when I noticed that writings would be on the wall, I would make sure, that I had savings in order. So there was a time when I used to dread going to work. It's just like, man, I could get fired any day. But when I built up my finances to have 6 months of savings in place, I felt real easy going to work because it's just like, yo, y'all, if today is that day, at least I'll be cool, Yeah. So when I got let go from my first company, they gave me a crazy severance. Shout outs to them. It was a lit summer. they gave me like 4 months of severance. So it was almost like I was working for free. But in that time, I was thinking, wow, I really enjoy the way this feels. I like not having to go into the office because, while I remain my authentic self in the office, and I think that was my best asset to contribute to the teams, it wasn't something that I was necessarily passionate about and not something that I could see myself doing for the next 30 to 40 years. So if anybody is going through uncertain times, if you're in a period where you have to rethink and re-strategize where you are, my first piece of advice is to get financially secure. So if you need money and you have to pick up a certain job or odd job, get financially secure, get a couple months in place where if you don't make a dollar or a cent, you can still have the peace of mind that you're going to be okay. The peace of mind is going to go volumes. But right after that, figure out what you could offer the world within your skill set at this very moment that could monetize. If you were on a high level job, you have some sort of skill set to offer the world. It's only about figuring out how you can package it and use it to the advantage of yourself. Because an invoice is going to pay you a lot more than a paycheck. When you get that invoice, that could be 10 paychecks in one. So figure out how to move from paycheck to invoice. How can you utilize the skills that you already possess? Or maybe this is the time you can learn a new skill. You can learn a new skill that'll pay you, but finances are ultra important. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, money is not important no, life isn't free. And, you can't rent all these Porsches and Range Rovers with hope, so get the money right. But try to figure out how you can move from paycheck to invoice, package your skills up and see how can you utilize them and how you can help people. That's the key, is just always helping people be selfless.
You said a lot there that I really agree with. And I feel like that's where I am. Mm-hmm. And so that's part of the reason why I'm not as, when I got the news, I wasn't as, some people might cry or be incredibly upset. Now it did mess up my day.
100%. I commend you. Like I said, I commend you for even being here. Bro, I need some time.
Yeah, no, it messed it up. But at the same time, I was so appreciative because I was like, in this time, I've been able to do a lot of things. I've been able to build myself up.
Yes.
The skills that I've acquired have been, incredible. When it comes to building and developing a podcast from start to finish, I can do it, you know, for corporate companies. I can do it for, you know, consultants. I do it for myself. I've done it for, you know, so that was comforting, just to know that I had some skills to offer the world. And then also, man, gotta shout you out too, bro, for the last, and one of the reasons I kind of paused on like, even investing time into like posting or putting out content was because I was making podcast episodes like, let me get this off, okay, right, that was dope, people like it. But you know, I figured out, hey, I need to package, similar to what you were saying, package my thoughts and my ideas in something, right, you know, some sort of product. And so I did that with 2 products, and I gotta thank you for that. I actually shouted you out in the book too, because it was major. But yeah, two books though, Intrinsic Value, and then another one. The other one is called The Veteran Transition Playbook. Wow. But not Intrinsic Value. Well, the subtitle is Opportunities Come to Those Who Know Their Worth and Options. And so it's more of a theoretical book about my mindset and my thought process, and what it took for me to get to where I am, for whoever is like wants to do what I've done or whatever. I think when it comes to like, of course, the schooling, the great jobs and stuff like that, I think those things, if hey, it's like there's a lot of people that are looking for that, and I can help with that. But then the Veteran Transition Playbook is like just kind of a no-brainer, because bro, within 3 months of transitioning out of the Air Force, I actually tripled my income through a few very simple steps. But I realized, wow, everybody should be doing this. But I also realized that they weren't. You know, when I came to the TAPS class that they have at the end of your tenure in the military, a lot of people were transitioning out, and if they were a police officer in the military, they're like, hey, I'm going to be a police officer in the civilian world. And I never said that to myself. I always wanted to go for a Wall Street firm. I had a taste of that. I always wanted to check out what it felt like to work at a tech company. I had a taste of that. I was able to build my skills in those organizations. And it's like, the thing is, when it comes to advice about transitioning, I mean, I know all of that information, well, a lot of that information, like the back of my hand. And I think that's something that I can clearly help people with. But to be honest with you, I did shy away from it for a little while, because I thought that since I wasn't a combat veteran, that my experience would, I guess, was invalidated, you know, because it's kind of like this feeling of remorse, or like, you know. But I realized, bro, there's a lot of people like that. And also the information has nothing to do with that. It's about helping people. And so, similar to what you said, figure out how you can help people. That's kind of what's on my mind right now.
Wise words, huh? No, bro. Wise words right there.
But yeah, bro. So those products, I want to cut back to the joint where you were like, what's the products you're gonna make?
Yeah, right.
Just get the content out there.
Get that content out. Yeah.
And if you think it's predicated on having an offer or having a product or service, make a product or service.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, man, I gotta get these joints out.
Do it, man. Sometime like the present, and time moves so fast, bro.
Nah, dog, for real. Time moves so fast. But you know, I made those in the mornings. It was like I would have 2 hours a day. Well, yeah, basically 2 hours a day from like 5 to 7.
That's discipline right there. That's inspiring.
Yeah, or 7 to 8:30, 6 to 8, something like that. And man, just got those things done, because I was like, I'm not gonna put out like content just for fun, you know, anymore. Like I want to be able to put something out, and then if somebody goes down the Robert E. Woods the third rabbit hole, right, there's something for you there, you know. So
love that.
But yeah, also, man, so like if you're going through an uncertain time, is there anybody that you would call or try to get advice, or even like
I have a couple of close friends that I can bounce thoughts off of,
Mhm.
and not necessarily even. Well, I have friends that hold me accountable where we can have conversations about what we need to do or just a lending ear. I think that's really important. You know, I don't have a therapist or anything like that. I'm not opposed to it. I just never did it. But I do have friends that I could just be vulnerable with, and I think that's important
Mm.
because we have to have somebody to talk to. We're not. I mean, I know we're men, but the world is heavy, and we bear a lot on our shoulders, and we are forced to act like everything is okay when a lot of the times it's just not. And it's cool to have a vulnerable moment with ourselves and be like, man, this is heavy, but I'm gonna get through it.
Right. But that's so real. I have friends like that. My brother Mike. I mean, my wife for sure. She'll definitely give advice.
Absolutely. Shout out.
She will definitely tell me what's up. But also, man, my guy Jarvis. I talked to him.
Blast.
Whenever there's this list of people that
Yeah,
like
for
if they
sure.
call, you gotta answer it.
That's a blessing.
You know what
man.
I'm saying? So
Yep.
he's and my dad too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Actually, both my parents. Mom, I love you. My mom be watching this stuff, yeah.
Shout out to my mom. She actually watched my stuff too. I love it, man. That's
Yeah, man, it's real. So, I mean, that kind of, it's a good transition to who you think are your favorite influencers right now. I think there are a lot of people doing some just dope things in terms of content and business or just business in general. Who are you like really tapped into right now?
As cliche as it is to say, I really admire the way Khaled handles his social media and his constant rebranding.
Ooh.
So DJ Khaled has a way of staying relevant because he just constantly reinvents himself. Right now, he's on a whole golf thing. Let's go golf thing. But it's gonna coincide with his next album rollout. He always just has a way of capturing people's attentions with repetition of phrases, branding, and just even the term, let's go golfing or still in the meeting. These are things that people find annoying and some people roll their eyes at, but a lot of people buy into. And whether you like it or dislike it, you have an emotion about it. So that's the thing. You have to have an emotion. One of my favorite Kanye lyrics is everybody feels some way about K, but at least y'all feel something.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have an opinion, that means you're not making enough of a mark. So for somebody to feel good about you or to feel bad about you, both are good. So I really admire the way he's doing that. Just the consistency that he has on a day-to-day basis is something I would love to emulate. And I've taken the steps to release some music as well. So I have three songs in the chamber.
Let's go.
I got 3 songs in the chamber, man. They come in, and I got the videos and the editing and my publishing is set up, but I'm just trying to have it straight so when I release it, I got stuff to go back to back. So time is ticking, man. That's me setting aside those hours to edit and to plot. But I would say Khaled to answer your question. What about you?
Man, I follow a lot of people that really inspire me. I thought we were gonna go with business, but I'm really glad you mentioned Khaled because like my number one influencer, I think from a music, I think as a human, I think it'd probably be Nipsey for me. Yeah, just mainly because of just the grind. You know what I'm saying? It's the level of persistence you have to have and belief in yourself to go through something and have that joint last 10 years. Absolutely. For people to feel like you just started is crazy. Yeah. And I feel like in a lot of ways that's kind of where I am 10 years ago. My life was completely different, Yeah. And a lot of things are not great right now, but there are a lot of things that are. And so just like you mentioned, like all of those things are good. But I would say on the business side, man, I definitely would say Dave and Donnie, man. Yes, 100%. Dave and Donnie, 100%. I love 100%. Everything that they do. Everything they post, I'm like, especially Donnie, because I feel like Donnie is, Dave is dope, but I know that Dave compartmentalizes himself on the podcast. but it seems as though Donnie is trying to show her whole self,
Yeah.
and she's like encouraging everybody else to do it too.
Right.
And I just love it. All of her mannerisms, and she's just funny and
Yes.
also this ferocious, powerful woman. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So and her podcast, her one solo joint,
phenomenal. I left a comment on there like, yo, you don't even need guests. Like, just get on here and
spit.
You know,
Exactly.
she be going crazy.
No,
Donnie.
and
She be going crazy. Oh my god.
yo,
And I had the chance to go to Atlanta and be in the Social Proof Podcast studios for the Morning Meetup Family Reunion, and they are that dynamic in real life.
yeah.
You know, so it just shows us that this is not an act for cameras. This is how you have to be. This is the level of intensity and tenacity that you have to have daily. You know,
Right.
when you wake up at 5 a.m. It's go time. You know,
Exactly.
there is no turning it on and off. You know, Dave and Donnie, they got it on all the time. So Brent and Rob, we gotta have it on all the time.
You're exactly right though, man. And I do see us kind of shaping up into people that other people watch.
Yep.
And I love that. I think definitely, I mean, you already have a great audience.
Thank you, bro.
And I'm trying to work up to that. But yeah, a couple other people though, man. John Dubatine, dog.
I'm not familiar.
Finesse.
Oh, Finesse
is only.
Oh yeah, he go crazy.
Dude, he really showed me that the like having different segments and different shows can work. You know, there's always people that are like, you gotta have a niche.
Right.
Nah,
Nope.
Buddy has so many segments. He could have his own like media empire in a few years, I feel.
Love.
So I like the fact that he's so real and authentic with it, but also he's just like, I'm just gonna do it because I like it and this is what I want to do. But then for real, man, Alex Hormozy.
Yes.
He is just a monster of an entrepreneur, and I think like right now for where I am, like I don't really want to hear anything else other than his voice.
Wow. Yes.
So yeah.
So execution plan going forward. One thing you gonna do?
Sheesh, yeah, man. You want to take that one?
Nah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. So the execution plan for me right now, honestly, I'm weighing both of the things that I have on my plate right now, which is unemployment and trying to be employed, and then entrepreneurship. And so essentially, I'm gonna focus on creating. Actually, I'll speak about the job thing first. 20 to 30 jobs a day. Just so I'm gonna apply to 20 to 30 jobs per day on LinkedIn and stuff like that. So that at the end of a month, I will have at least 400, energetic responses out there from me for these jobs. And I mean, I just want to see where that goes. And just kind of put a dedicated amount of time into that. And then the next piece though, man, I want to give credence to the fact that, on LinkedIn, I do have like 12,000 followers, which is dope. And
it's lit.
I feel like it would be cool for me to just start running ads or like a real hard campaign of just like every day you'd like to see my face. You know what I'm saying? If you're following me, you're going to see me, and it's going to be good, high quality content that makes you think, but I also want people to, one, buy my books. But the second piece is potentially invest in the opportunity to maybe be coached by me. And I think selling these things as a package is really what the next goal is. And so I think by the next time we speak, let's give it 14 to 20 days maybe.
Okay.
I think I want to have at least 5 book sales. I know that's like tiny, but like
I'll be one of them, so you gotta worry about 4 now.
4 book sales, and honestly, 1 or 2 people in the coaching program. And it's something that I've been thinking about for a while, but now it's like there's literally nothing keeping me from it. Because on some real, I was I would post on. I think a part of the reason they kept me for as long as they did because the LinkedIn thing. But I would post things on LinkedIn, man, and I would be like, dang, I wonder what they're gonna say about this, or damn, I hope this doesn't affect my status while I'm here and stuff like that. And I did have somebody, he was actually one of my leads at the time. He was like, that was really bold that you posted that. But he said it in like a negative way, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, dang, for somebody who has the opportunity to, change my income situation, I was just like, shoot, okay, maybe I need to think about this. And so now, like, I don't have to think about any of that,
Right.
Unless I really think about maybe the potential employers. But none of my content is like
Yeah.
wild, you know what I'm saying?
We're human, man.
Exactly.
Society there's a blurred line now between work and outside of work. Even cancel culture. Like if somebody gets canceled, the first thing people want to do is take away their livelihood. Like, bro, what? I can't eat because I said something you don't agree with. Like, it's wild. I don't really like the fact that that happened to you, and I don't like the fact that happens. I don't agree with it.
Nah, man, it's real. I was but I actually recorded a podcast episode for the last job with this woman named Dr. Gossam. Young woman. She's dope. And she was like, hey, personal branding is seen, or even self promotion is seen negatively if you're a minority in the workplace.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not cool.
Yeah. It just goes because the reason corporate America is able to work is because everybody has to buy into the company. There are no individual stars. The company is the star, right? So if you put yourself in a position whereas you're putting attention on yourself, that kind of negates the equilibrium of what the company is trying to accomplish. So I can see why they would be against it. It's just unfortunate that they have so much power over our livelihood that we have to fall in the line. So that's why we have to escape the matrix and try to find a way to at least be self-sufficient, where when they ultimately inevitably take away this check that they wave in front of our face, we're still able to provide, man. Then we can take that power away from them. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild. This almost has nothing to do with it, but it does. As a veteran, like, you might walk into a room feeling as though, damn, I don't really have any value, or if I get fired, then I'm screwed. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a 100% VA disability status, bro, that's 50 grand right there.
Wow.
You will never be homeless.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? So, personally, I shied away from even applying for my disability stuff I literally just got it like a couple months ago. And like, it was perfect timing.
Perfect, bro. All of the line.
And so I think that kind of stuff is like, all right, cool. Well, it forces you to just kind of supplement from there. But if you're a veteran, you have options. You know what I'm saying? Anyway,
You're gonna be good, man, because you're intellectual, you're brilliant, you are just sufficient in your thoughts, man. So I'm excited, about how you're going to pivot in this adjustment period, bro. It's exciting as well as terrifying. But you built for it, bro.
Yeah,
You've been through worse.
Yeah, no, that's
You got through worse.
That's a fact, man. And I appreciate your support for real. Like these talks, bro. I mean, I just don't want people thinking that like this is fake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we got cameras, but
Nah.
it would be exactly like this if we didn't have cameras out.
Oh, for sure.
So that's what I really like about this.
And honestly, if you think it's fake, that's on you. 'Cause, you know what I'm saying? We no longer even care
Right, we
what
don't
you
even
thinking,
care,
man. We know this is authentic, and we just talk to the people that respect authenticity.
Right. The audience comes last. That's
The audience comes last. With all due respect.
Right. Thank you for watching.
Please hit subscribe.
Right. Oh man, is there anything you want to plug before we jump? D?
I would just say we are in the time. Let's get it lit. I would just say I'm in a period of my life right now, and I feel like a lot of other people are right now, where we are searching for the polish to what we're already establishing. And I want to reiterate that it's time to make that decision to finish whatever it is that you have in your head. Get your goals down and decide to finish. That's really the only thing I ever have to double down on. Decide to finish your goals. Decide to finish to get your mind, body, physical, spiritual, right, and just decide to finish it. Whatever it is, whatever that it is for you. How about you, bro?
Fire, dog. Yeah. Oh, my fault, bro. Yeah, man. For me, I would say, you are a legend, no matter what. Like, the fact that you're watching this right now means that you are a legendary person. You may have gotten laid off yesterday. You may have some trouble in your finances or relationship right now, but at this point in time, you can get through it, and there is a solution to your problems. So if you want to, buy the book, Intrinsic Value, Opportunities Come to Those Who Know Their Worth and Options, I think you should do that. But also, if you're a veteran in the process of transitioning out of the military, you should definitely get the Veteran Transition Playbook. And if you want it for free, I can DM that to you. Also, I can send you the ebook too. Also, I can send you the audiobook. So let me know.
Nice. Love it, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
That was another episode, bro.
Another
Hopping.
This was a legendary production.